Well, this is this is kind of important. Actually, it's really it's important. We're talking about all of these things having to do with kids, having to do with Epstein stuff, having to do with all of these dark things connected around the world to the human trafficking stuff, movements, and then what's happening with the children at the highest levels. This is going to be kind of disturbing for people to hear. That's why I wanted to share this video with everyone. This evening, later, I'll do it in the news update also for the Gold members. I'll talk about this. But right now, I need to let everybody know what I'm hearing from high level insiders. Really, I have a great friend in the military, and it's really going to be disturbing. That's why I wanted to tell you guys directly first. It's this is kind of creepy. It's disturbing, and I don't even know how to start this. I'm not even prepared, but let me just get it out there. The United States military. There's going to be a soldier, a decorated veteran. He's going to be coming forward on the pedo operations, the human trafficking stuff, and then also connected to killings of the minors, the children, and then connected to other nefarious dark stuff. But this is this part that's gonna get everybody upset. This is gonna get everybody upset. The military, this person, his name is William Sasha Riley. He's coming forward, but he's gonna make claims against Trump that Trump is there at these places where these children are being eliminated, and um, senators are there at this place now. Also, Thomas from the Supreme Court is also going to be, he's going to be placed there. This guy is making these huge, gigantic, big claims, and this story is, from what I hear, it's gonna pick up some steam because um, mainstream media is silently beginning to look at this story. And from what I hear is that the way I heard about it is that, of course, the deep state is going to push this powerful story. It's going to be it's going to be a story. What's really strange about this is the white hats also want to push this story with algorithms. So both sides want to push this story. The black hats want to bring this story out. The Democratic Party, mainstream media wants to push out all of this information. At the same time, white hats, game theory, military operations also want to bring out the exposure of this story, push this algorithm, and then push it into all the different networks in the United States and then going all across the world. Because what's going to end up eventually happening is it's going to be gigantic. This is what I was talking about, that somehow the military operations with Trump, and this time they're going to start to expose the human trafficking stuff, the pedo operation stuff, the Epstein stuff, even though it seems kind of blurry sometimes. But I said this was going to happen during this administration. So we're at this strange point of how they're trying to bring it out into the public sector to say that Trump is a part of this. At the highest level, Clarence Thomas is a part of this inside the judicial systems. Senators from Lindsey Graham are part of these really dark, nefarious stuff. So people are going to be really kind of pissed off about this. It's going to divide the movement a little bit, everybody. And then you'll hear maybe some networks and some channels and a lot of different conspiracy channels are going to push this out. and it's going to create kind of a chaos. It's going to really get people upset because, as you know, right now you have so many different channels where everybody's against Trump. They're against the Epstein stuff. They blame Trump that Trump's not releasing stuff and it's Trump's fault, and that Trump is obviously evil, and the United States government is evil because they're doing a huge, gigantic cover up. You're hearing a lot of this talk happen not only inside of the liberal movement, not only the DNC, but there's people inside of MAGA movement, different, especially a lot of different podcasters. They were really upset with Trump about what happened with the Epstein stuff, that things weren't released, heavily redacted. And last year was a hard time for people when Trump said, hey, like, are people still talking about Epstein? That's when everybody got really upset, including Candace Owens, a lot of people, everybody got really hurt by that. But I was trying to tell you that don't worry, it's all coming back. Trump is setting a stage, and then eventually saw all of this stuff keep on moving forward, and it's still coming. That's a huge, gigantic saga. What people don't understand, I keep telling you, is like the general public, but also these podcasters, no matter how big they are, or else news organizations, their mind can't think at the high, complex um, rationality and the planning of at the highest levels inside the Pentagon, military assessments, military planning, military strategic operations of using this power of what Epstein did through the world, because they know what's happening. They have all the evidence, and they're squeezing countries. They're squeezing elites from all around the world. They're squeezing all of these different powers from banking sectors, banking system, to the world banks, to social media networks. There's powerful operations behind the scenes, and Trump, the United States military, is in possession of the one of the biggest, darkest operations that's been taking history for a long time through Mossad, MI6, CIA, Jesuit operations connected to countries, CCP, connected to Venezuela, what was going on inside of Iran, the operations from Pakistan to Iran, all the way into Africa. These different networks are moving so much dark things that people can't really understand why Trump is going after Iran, because Iran is controlling these countries, certain countries from Pakistan into Africa, into Iraq. It's gigantic. So, getting back to this story of this United States soldier, William Riley, um, it's going to start to come out this month. It usually takes a little bit of time to pick up steam, but I really want you guys to let you guys know that this story is going to come out. It's going to be out there, and it's going to make kind of people really upset. And I'm here to tell you that there's military operation white hats that are allowing this to take place, to take form, because this is the door that's going to open up really, really, really a lot of darkness. That includes exposing the operations later on towards from what I hear, it's like a little bit um, after July, at this time into fall, they're going to expose the operations from the United States government, that the CIA, intelligence agencies, deep state, they have doubles of Trump, that they have people with these powerful masses and powerful technology that can imitate Trump being at certain places, that people really thought that maybe he was in the United States at a certain place. He was at this place over in California. And these operations are kind of really going to expose that hand in hand, that the CIA operations intelligence was imitating Trump and creating a double. So that's just really, but more than that, this is This is a corridor that the military is doing a beta test on, but it's also intentional to get people riled up into confusion to move the mass. Because I keep telling you, there's operations inside of the United States to create a huge, gigantic civil unrest, the near death civilization event that you guys been going through from the pandemic all the way to the virus, to the lockdowns, to the vaccines, to all of this stuff that's happening in the war, in the world with the wars, what Trump is doing, that we're going towards this huge, gigantic moment where we're coming into this massive, massive nuclear standoff that's going to erupt, and it's going to be over the Arctics. Everybody's going to arm up. It's going to be even bigger. Since 2024, the end, you heard about the nuke stuff. 2025, everybody's talking about nukes. Different countries, everybody's kind of scared about it. Now it's going to erupt even more, those operations. It's going to scare everyone what's going to happen. But these are powerful, controlled events between powerful operations of back channels that's been installed since JFK was in office working with Russia behind the scenes. These different operations to pull down the world globalist operations. So as you can see, NATO is collapsing. Everybody's talking about the corruption of the United Nations. There's something happening in Europe. There's a massive collapse that's happening, and it's growing, but also certain countries around the world. So all of these different events, these are events, those are connected to the near-death civilization event, but it's not going to happen. I keep telling this nuclear stuff isn't going to happen like the way you're going to be told on TV. We're at the brink. It's going to get even worse and worse. General Flynn is giving information to let people know now that we could come to nuclear war over Antarctica. This is going to grow now, blah, 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 that this is going to happen. He's also part of operations to kind of scare people, to kind of wake up, because this event is going to let everything grow in the world, the exposure of how this came to be, what really happened in Ukraine. How do we get this far inside of the world that we're all fighting, that there's a war? Why is NATO part of this corruption of what's happening, United Nations? Because a lot of exposure is coming. It's coming against the United Nations. It's moving, and the administration's trying to move as quick as they can. But right now, they're opening this powerful, powerful corridor through this operations of exposing the operations of this stuff we keep talking about, the chrome stuff. And it's going to kind of shock people a little bit. That's what I want to prepare everybody for. But to let you guys also know that that this is all intentional. Trump likes to use himself to create a Streisand effect, to scare people. The military is well aware of what's happening with this guy coming forward, with this guy stepping forward. We don't know if this guy is a plant, but we do know that the military is well aware of this from the Pentagon, that this guy is stepping forward. And from Musk AI systems all the way across the different networks, they're going to push the story, and it's eventually going to really hit that Trump, these people were there, and it's going to cause a lot of chaos. And then eventually they're going to have to look into this. They're going to have to see what's going on, because the story's going to get too big. So that's just to let you know. I told you, you have to be very, very careful, because this powerful 5th generation warfare, 6th generation warfare is shaking people. It's going to move them around. It's going to cause a lot of chaos, a lot of disturbance, civil unrest. People will just be in panic over what they're hearing about. It creates a lot of division. But you guys You guys are really awake. You guys know a lot of information that's happening and how things are developing and having to do with Antarctica and all of these different things that I've been telling you about. So don't be in panic when you start to hear this news start to come out. I want to let everybody know this first of all. At the highest level, the Pentagon, the White Hats, they already have so much different backup plans that are secured. In Russia, there's so much different backup plans. In China, there's backup plans, and they're all working together in a certain powerful way. And I'm working on a full video that's gonna that I've been working on. I've been editing this for I've been editing this for 2 months. It's like a little movie. You'll just hear my voice, but it's going to show the whole story of almost all the world, what really happened, having to do going back all the way to biblical times, going back to the Khazars, going back to how the Jesuits was created, how they took over the Vatican, how the Knights of Malta were created, then all of these human trafficking operations to the UK, connected to the India West Trading Company from London, these operations. And it's gigantic, this whole gigantic piece, and it connects all the stories of how everything is all connected. But it's a huge work because I have to get certain things to get the rights of certain footages, a few things to clear things. So it's taken a lot of work to edit, and it's almost 2 hours, and I'm hoping that I can be done in the next month or a month and a half to get that video out. So, okay, you guys, thank you for tuning in. Yeah, I don't want you guys to be shocked when you guys hear this stuff. I want you guys to have a strong insight that mainstream media, most people, inside the United States, including all of these podcast channels, they don't understand military operations. They don't understand the intelligence of what's really happening, the planning behind it. You have channels that are just upset with Trump, upset about the Epstein stuff. Trump is evil, but they can't understand this military precision operations of leveraging those operations against country, against elites, against banks, against systems all the way across the world. But everything's going to keep on coming out. You're seeing it, man. So don't worry about this stuff, you guys.
Join our Patreon or Spotify channel and get the real weekly updates.